can already tell that this video is going to have to be remade in about 3 months, maybe 6 months. You'll see why as we get further into it as we go along. Hi everyone, welcome to 10 Minute Worlds. It's so good to see you here, and welcome back if you're brand new or if you're one of my subscribers who's subscribed to the channel in the last couple of weeks. Thank you so much. It's so great to have you here on this journey with me. I use the J word, the journey word, but we are on a journey. This video, I thought I would stay in keeping with my theme for the last couple of weeks. What is that theme? If you're brand new around here and you haven't taken a look at my shorts or my last video, which was all about being a new fan of One Piece for the first time and just the joy of all of that, it's all about being a fan. And the last couple of weeks, I've been focusing on just One Piece content. Mostly One Piece content for people like me who might be brand new for whatever reason, have only just started watching the anime or reading the manga, or have maybe only just watched the Netflix show, and just want a bit more context, referral about who the characters are, what they do, their place in the world, their backstory, that kind of thing. Useful stuff, hopefully. So what I thought I would do today is something perhaps controversial for someone who hasn't seen all of the anime yet. We are approaching 300 episodes, which is nothing in the grand scope of One Piece, I know. But I am going to go ahead and rank the Straw Hat Pirates from least favourite to most favourite. I do this because, frankly, none of them are my least favourite. I kind of love all of them in their own way, for very special reasons, and we'll get a bit more into that as we go along. Here's the problem though. I know at this point in the anime that I haven't seen all of the Straw Hat Pirates, which is why I mentioned when I sat down that I would have to do this video again in maybe 3 months or 6 months, because trying not to be spoiled, but I know there's more coming, so this is not a final list by any means. Yeah, keep that in mind. But for now, I guess I'll go through my top list of the Straw Hats, and of course number 1 will be right at the end to keep you on the edge of your seats. I will also say that this was more difficult than I thought it was going to be. My number 1 character is just number 1 no matter what, over and above all of the other characters. The other characters though, they're all great, which is why this is so hard, and when I get to the least favourite in just a second, even that was difficult. And it's not that I don't like them, I'm trying to justify my choices right now, but with that caveat as well that I don't hate any of the Straw Hat Pirates. It's just based on my connection with them, their backstory, also how hard they made me cry, which is quite hard for some of them. So with all of that said, shall we just dive into it and take a look at my top One Piece Straw Hats, I suppose, Straw Hat characters. If we did my top One Piece characters, this would definitely not be a 10-minute video, but let's start where we can and go through the Straw Hats first of all. I actually had to get my phone out because I couldn't remember who I have in what order. It's fine, we'll get there. Alright, so coming in at number 7? 6? Wait a second. Can you tell this isn't scripted? Coming in at number 7 is Usopp. And this may not be a surprise to you if you saw my previous video about being a fan of One Piece. It's not that I don't like him. I mean, but he is, you know, the liar of the crew. He is constantly just being terrified and a wimp and falling back when everyone is rushing in to fight. And once again, I will say that the live action made him more tolerable. Is that the right word? Maybe that's the right word. But in general, unless something major happens, because I know there's a time skip coming up, unless something major happens during the time skip, I think he might stay at the bottom. I just want him to get stronger and believe in himself. Like, keep the lying, keep the tall tales, because that gives him flavour, you know? But just stop being such a coward and stand up to the rest of the crew. Usopp, please. Come on, man. Alright, number 6 is actually Luffy. And once again, this was really, really hard, and I don't hate him at all. He's an amazing character, and his absolute conviction in following his dreams and encouraging everyone around him to do the same is like an aspiration for me. It's just it's just that sometimes his absolute bullheadedness and the way he just doesn't think and he charges ahead without even a consideration for his friends. Can I put some spoilers in here? I'm going to put some spoilers in here. We are currently watching Enies Lobby, and so much tense stuff is happening there without going into too much detail for anyone who might be brand new watching. But he just charges into this place that is, by all accounts, dangerous and potentially lethal, and doesn't give a thought to any of his friends or the plan that they were trying to make to, you know, save someone who is important to them. But at the same time, as a captain, I do appreciate his kind of forthrightness and his strength, and because of that absolute conviction, because he believes so hard in what he's doing, everyone else around him believes really hard. It's kind of infectious in a way, and I do sort of love that. So that was a bit of a toss-up for me, but compared to all of the other characters that I have come across so far, yeah, I think I would leave him in that place for now. I know there's a lot still to come, and we'll see how he kind of shifts going on through the anime. Now, here's where it starts getting really, really hard, because a couple of characters have been introduced kind of later on that have shuffled everything around on my list. So, at number 5 is Zoro, who is absolutely badass. I love him. I love how strong he is. I love the three-sword style. The first time I saw it in the anime, obviously thought it was ridiculous because I hadn't seen it before. But then he starts fighting and absolutely wipes the floor with everybody. And not to say that he doesn't also get knocked back, he does, and we see that in the anime, and we see that in the live action as well, with his duel with Mihawk, for instance. So it's not that he's absolutely powerful without any other consequence. He has his weak spots, and he has his own kind of traumas that he's dealing with. I also just really love that he has no sense of direction. Everyone's going in one direction, and he'll just go in another direction and be like, whatever, I thought I was right. I don't know, that's pretty funny. Maybe it's the stoicism that puts him a bit lower on the list for me. There is a lot of that, and I know he kind of loosens up and becomes, a bit more dry-witted, I guess. Maybe that's the word I want to use, dry-witted, sure. But for now, I'll put him there. I'll put him at number 5. At number 4 is my girl, Nami. I absolutely love Nami. And her story, her backstory, aside from something else that happens pretty early on in the anime involving a dog who didn't show up in the live action, but if you care to look it up and you just want to take a look, just be warned, because that dog made me sob like a baby. But aside from that, Nami's backstory was the first one in the anime that really got my heart and made me cry. She has been through so much, and at first I was like, what's her deal? What's her motive? What is she doing? And then it all comes to light, and you absolutely understand the desperation that she's been through. I also find her whole thing with kind of holding on to the money bags and being, obsessed with money, I find that pretty funny. And she has a kind heart as well, and she's so deeply involved with her friends. I don't know. I think it's great. So Nami comes in for me at number. I'm having to check my list every 5 minutes just to make sure I don't get it wrong. Yes, Nami comes in at number 4. I'm back with an outro from a different day because I realised, in the spirit of making this a 10-minute channel, there was absolutely no feasible way that I was going to make a ranking video for the Straw Hats that was less than 10 minutes for all of them. So what I'm going to do is make this part 1, so keep you in suspense just a little bit. If you're interested in seeing my top 3 Straw Hats, keep posted to this channel for later in the week, where I'll go a little bit further into my top 3, reveal my number 1, and hopefully get more comments from you all as to who your favourite is. So with that in mind, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video later this week. Bye!